What's up, everybody? Welcome back to This Week in Esports and Gaming, the show where we talk about the latest and greatest in business for esports, gaming, and creators. We're here with the final week of February 2023, and I'm your host, Mark Kai. Let's dive right into it. For our first top three story, I just want to highlight some esports documentaries, right? I've recently been seeing more and more posts about esports and gaming documentaries, so I want to come out and just highlight a few newer ones as well as older ones that I'm aware of. One of the most recent ones is Restart the Game, made by the Portuguese esports org 𝗠𝗿𝗶, which highlights the environmental impact of esports and the push to decrease gamers' carbon footprint. Two others that recently came out for CSGO are Game and Glory as well as Ready Up, which were made by ESL Gaming, BBC Studios, as well as Blast, respectively. These two documentaries show the stories of events such as Blast Fall Finals in Copenhagen, as well as the 2022 IEM Rio Major, and gives viewers an insight into the support, fans, orgs, atmosphere of these events. Some other iconic ones are Team Liquid's Breaking Point, which is an uncensored and unscripted documentary around Team Liquid's League of Legends esports team in 2016 and follows their journey. The documentary highlights the directness and honesty of esports players, mental health, and the stress around it. And one of my favorite is Against the Odds, which was made by Red Bull and follows the fairy tale esports journey of OG esports run to win TI8 in Dota 2. The documentary is exceptionally well made and brings tears to many people's eyes given the context of the entire team and the players at that time. So there's a plethora of other esports documentaries like Free to Play as well as The Art of Street Fighting that cover many different aspects of esports and gaming. So I suggest you watch a few if you have some free time. To be entirely honest, I haven't watched all of these, but I'd like to in the near future, and I think it's important to learn about the storylines and history around many of these initiatives and iconic events in esports and gaming. So hopefully you enjoy watching some. Bungie and Cognosphere have been in the legal sphere lately. Let's start with Bungie. They won a $4.3 million arbitration case against 𝗠𝗿𝗖, which is a cheat-selling company. 𝗠𝗿𝗖 was found liable in accusations and violations of the DMCA anti-circumvention provisions, with Judge Ronald Cox siding with Bungie about the violations partaken by 𝗠𝗿𝗖. The case has been ongoing since 2021, with it initially being dismissed in April 2022, but brought back again. And then 𝗠𝗿𝗖 actually asked for the suit to be dismissed again, and that was rejected thereafter. So Bungie's got success with 𝗠𝗿𝗖 there. In another case, Bungie seeking $6.7 million default judgment in a case against 𝗠𝗏𝗑�cheats, which is another cheat provider that was doing a lot in Destiny 2. The motion was filed last week as 𝗠𝗏𝗑�cheats failed to make a court appearance, and similarly, this go back to 2021 when Bungie filed against many cheat companies for copyright infringement. They've been cracking down cheat sellers recently, which is honestly a good thing in my opinion. And now to Cognosphere, they're the developer of Genshin Impact for reference, and they're currently taking legal action against leakers in the form of court subpoenas, which are asking to identify Twitter account users that have shared unreleased details about the game. They supposedly have been secured from test builds of the game, and this comes a month after they started becoming legally active against these leaks. And other companies like Epic Games and the Pokemon Company have also fired and sued folks for leaking things early and breaking NDA agreements. So it all seems that this legal action against cheaters is seemingly positive. No one really likes cheaters, and so if anti-cheat isn't working, I guess the next best action from a publisher or studio's perspective is legal action. Similarly with the leakers, I guess just don't break those NDAs. I'm hoping more publishers are able to take legal action against this to ensure cheats aren't cheats are hopefully scared away a little bit more. So there's always going to be cheats in games, but hopefully this will help a little bit, and so gamers can have a more fair environment to play games in. And for our final top three story, esports isn't a sport for Title IX. Apparently, according to a U.S. judge, earlier this week, U.S. District Judge Carlos Mendoza concluded that esports doesn't count as a sport for the purposes of Title IX in the Navarro versus Florida Institute of Technology case, where 6 members of the FIT men's rowing team were suing the school for alleged violations of Title IX. FIT countered this argument by saying that its online-only students and esports programs are male-dominated, and that should be added to the analysis to provide that the shortness of men's athletic opportunities was lower than it actually seemed. FIT also say that esports teams were subject to the same selection processes with the same support and competitive schedules and scholarships from 2023. The judge said esports are not sanctioned by the NCAA, they don't require athletic ability, and they cited a lack of national governing board for esports. So basically said you can't count esports in your sports academic programs. All in all, esports wasn't the focus of this case about Title IX, but it seems to have very big ramifications, as it seems folks in the US legal system still don't 100% value the legitimacy of esports yet, though this is only one example of it. It's interesting to see how esports is viewed in other countries in legal terms, since the US seems pretty far behind on many of these initiatives, or at least split up depending on where you are. So perhaps esports will have to adopt similar structures to traditional sports to be equal, or maybe they'll just continue to be independent for the time being. Who knows? We'll see in the future. As far as partnerships go, Team Vitality partnered with Aldi. The new Women's League of Legends esports roster will be made as a result of this, dubbed the French Bees, and this will be the 7th roster under Team Vitality's banner, marking yet another win for women in esports. Embracer Group partnered with New Line Cinema and Warner Bros. Pictures. The new multi-year deal will encompass multiple films based on J.R.R. Tolkien's work, including Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. Grid Esports partners with Riot Games. The partnership encompasses the new Valorant Data Portal, or VDP, which will house data from VCT matches and private scrims. It will be available to all 30 VCT partner teams with the ability to filter data to use in match analysis and talent evaluation. The French publisher Microids have partnered with the French dev studio Savage Level. Savage Level is already in pre-production for a game scheduled to launch on PC and consoles in 2024, and this will see both parties working together to make this game come to life. As far as finance and M&A goes, TGS Esports are going to acquire Lazarus Esports. TGS will acquire all of Lazarus's IP and assets and retain some of the org staff, though the financial terms were not disclosed here. G1 acquired Women's Carball. G1 said that it would immediately inject capital required to pay past debts and relaunch the season, which is a big win for women's esports. The league was suspended a few months back and was left in limbo, so it's good to see more funding, resources, and better production is in the works. Azure Games raised $10 million seed funding. This round comes from Andreessen Horowitz and will be put towards its NFT game Legions and Legends, which is a sci-fi fantasy action RPG. This will bring the current seed funding total to $25 million. Behavior Interactive acquired Sock Monkey Studios. While the terms weren't disclosed, this is Behavior Interactive's first European investment, and Behavior Interactive are behind Dead by Daylight and are working on their next major title, Meet Your Maker. The fitness gaming star 𝗠𝗿 raised a $10 million Series A. Tencent led the round with participation from Kasola Ventures, Hardcore Capital, Social Impact Capital, and Naval Ravikant. The round will be used to develop its debut title Shardfall, as well as other games, and further develop its fitness hardware. Telltale Games raised an $8 million Series A. The round is led by Hero Capital with participation from Skybound Entertainment, and the funds will be used for the Expanse, a Telltale series, which is their first new title since 2018. As far as workforce changes go, Tammy Brandt joined CAA as a legal executive. She was most recently the chief legal officer and head of business and legal affairs at FaZe Clan for the past 2 years. She was also previously the chief legal officer at Dreamscape Immersive too, with lots of legal experience in the past, and she holds a JD from Notre Dame Law School. Claire Jarvis joins Guild Esports as the CFO. She has over 10 years of experience in the finance space, and she was at Audible for over 5 years overseeing finance for the UK and Canada, as well as Shazam as a finance director, and she holds a bachelor's from the University of Oxford. David Toyan joins Tundra Esports as the head of business development. David was most recently the head of business development for the MTS Group, and before that he was the CEO and co-founder of Forward Gaming and has been around in the esports gaming space with other orgs in the CIS region for quite a while now. Phil Elliott joins Modern Wolf as the CEO. He was previously with Square Enix for nearly 12 years and was most recently the director of indie publishing there. He has a storied background in gaming with Game Industry Biz, GameSpot, and more, and he has a bachelor's in English from Royal Holloway, University of London. Heather Hazen has been promoted to the studio head at Firaxis Games. She was previously COO of the studio for the last 2.5 years, and she's worked with Epic Games as an executive producer and was the games GM at PopCap Games in the past as well. She holds a bachelor's in communication and media studies from Wake Forest University. As far as new stuff goes, Shakenso Analytics have launched Esports Radar. This new product is a media value and audience reporting tool aimed at all major stakeholders in esports, and currently it offers sponsorship data and global insights for esports events, teams, and tournaments. Ants have launched their creator program. The Finnish esports org has partnered with Nord Agency to grow its roster of talent and develop a professional ecosystem for content creation in Finland. EA is building a new team to support Battlefield single player. EA DICE is one of 3 EA studios that has been tasked with establishing the future of EA's shooter series Battlefield, and their expansion is meant to help Ridgeline Games, which is focusing on the single player campaign. The TV and film production firm Blumhouse have launched a gaming division. They will create and publish horror-themed games across mobile, console, and PC, and they will also work with indie game devs with title budgets under $10 million. Congrats to Zach Wood and Don Scheckler for this big start. Wildlight Entertainment have newly launched with offices in Seattle and Los Angeles. The fully funded studio has folks that have worked on titles like Apex Legends, Call of Duty, and Titanfall, and their aim is to create an epic shooter IP, which makes sense given the studio's previous background. That's it for this week in esports and gaming. Thank you so much for tuning in. Credit to the authors and brands themselves for the images and information provided. If you know someone who would find this valuable, please share this post or tag them down below. And as always, I want to give a shout out to James Fudge and the Esports Advocate for all the work they do. Show some support and love down below. And as always, everybody, have a great day.